Welcome, everybody, to the Final Score. I'm your host, Nicholas Marcinov, and today we are going to be talking about which NHL teams are benefiting and which are hurting from the division realignment this season. So, obviously, the NHL had to do something because of the border restrictions between Canada and the US, and so they created four new-ish divisions. Today, I'm going to be joined with one of my good friends, Mr. Tanner Larson. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Hello. Excited to be here chatting about hockey again.
Absolutely. I had such a good time. I was like, I need to bring him back. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Teams that are benefiting from the division realignment. So, you know, you could take it any sort of way, like any team that is having a surprising record. Like we could obviously point at, well, the team that you're wearing right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs, just
Yes.
dominating the Canadian or North Division. But who would you say is really benefiting from the realignment?
So I was looking at it. I was going over the data, and one that stood out to me was the Islanders because they in their old league they would have been second, uh, but they're first this time. Um, and then that's got to be exciting for the fans. Um, I would be happy about that. There was another team, the Lightning, are in the same situation. They should be second, but
Yeah,
aren't first. So that's really exciting.
yeah, the it's definitely helping them. For me, I would say that a team that is really benefiting from the realignment and really just the postseason format is the Montreal Canadiens.
Yes.
This is a team that is currently fourth in the North Division, which means that they are right on that playoff boundary. Whereas if it was the normal standings, they would be outside looking in on the playoffs. Uh, at the start of the season, I don't know if you remember all the crazy hype the Canadians were getting in. Carey Price is back to his elite status, and then it's
Former
just like,
glory,
oh
yeah.
no, they slowed down. uh, so the
It happens,
Canadians are
yeah.
definitely benefiting right now from all
They
of
just
it.
gotta, yeah, they just gotta hold that position there,
Mm-hmm.
and they lucked out too because four teams are going to the playoffs, so they must be happy.
They would go to the playoffs right now, and they would play the Toronto Maple Leafs,
Oh
and
no, they're not happy.
they're not happy about that.
They got to win
Uh,
some more games.
mm-hmm. Another team that is really benefiting from the division realignment, and this is a little bit of a cop out, uh, but I only have one photo. It's the Minnesota Wild, the Colorado Avalanche, and the St. Louis Blues. Now, you can make the argument that under normal circumstances, you would expect the Blues and the Avalanche to be right there fighting for the playoffs. And then the Wild, I heard rumors that they were trying to take a step back and really just start a small rebuild. But specifically for the Wild, they're benefiting from playing a very weak Pacific Division, where the only semi decent team.
Tears.
I know. For those of you who don't know, he is a Ducks fan.
Yeah,
He's
it's
wearing.
been a bad season.
It's been a really rough season. Um, but yeah, so the Wild, they're the fourth seed right now, and the only tough team that are in the Pacific Division is the Golden Knights. You have the Kings, Coyotes, Sharks, and Ducks, which are really just easy pick'ems.
hmm it's a good league to be in if you're good.
Yeah,
And
I just, oh man, dude, I feel bad for the normal Pacific Division opponents like the Oilers. They could be playing these guys. The Flames could be playing these guys, but no, we get three of the toughest from the Central Division.
hmm hmm it's
Wow.
uh it's like putting the best against some of the worst, unfortunately.
I'm actually surprised that there isn't more of a deficit in points.
hmm
There is still a big deficit, but it's not just like
Yeah,
clowning
it's
on the Sharks.
it's
It's not clown.
12 points between the Golden Knights and the Ducks. That's
And
that's
there's
pretty
plenty of season
significant.
left. Plenty of season left.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance.
My Ducks could come back and take the cup this year.
I'm not ready to call him dead in the water just yet.
All right.
Well,
but yeah, if you're the Blues, you're happy. If you're the Avalanche, you're happy.
mm-hmm. Did you have any other teams for benefiting that you would say?
No, just the I would just point out, yeah, the Islanders, you're happy for the Islanders and Lightning right now. You're first when you should have been second.
Yeah.
That's a good place to be. That's exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think now is a good time to switch over to teams that are just hurting from this realignment. So I don't know about you, but I found it way easier to point at teams who are just like, oh, you should be doing better.
Right. Yes. It's
why don't you
much easier to point out the negative.
Yeah. Why don't you start us off? Who would be like your first pick for which team deserves better?
The poor Flames. They should be they should be in third, and they're fifth, so they're out of playoff position.
Yeah.
And even in the old, like last year's division, they would have at third, you're advancing. So they're a little upset about their division realignment. But they're in that tough
in the North.
Yeah, the Canadiens.
Mm-hmm.
Canadian division, which is just gnarly this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 24 points. They like it's the inverse of the Wild, the Avalanche. They should be playing those easy teams and succeeding currently, but instead they're with the Maple Leafs, which are top of the league. Jets, I think our Jets are close to the top, maybe second or third. There's just a lot of really good teams, and they're not happy about that realignment, I bet.
No, they are not.
It's exciting though, I bet, if you're Canadian, like watching all your Canadian teams go at it all the time. Yeah.
And you're guaranteed to have at least one of them make it to the conference championship round. So we'll have to see. Maybe we might see a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup. That'll be exciting.
We know who it'll be.
Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens.
No.
They just need a chance. For my first overall pick for teams that are hurting, I'm going to say the Chicago Blackhawks. Mostly just because, last year in the playoffs, they faced the Golden Knights in round one. And after that, it was the Corey Crawford retires, at the start of this season, he retires. And so you would imagine that the team's going to take a step back and really trying to rebuild. But right now, they sit, where is it? They're in the Central. They sit at the 4th seed, which is fine. But if it was under normal circumstances, they would currently be second in their division. They're the ones who are wishing that the normal playoffs, the normal format was how it was. It's not that big of a jump, but they really wish that it was back to normal.
I think second's a much better place to sit than 4th.
Oh, absolutely.
You feel a little bit more confident about your position. They do have a bit of some distance between there's like 6-point gap from the Blue Jackets. So they're looking good still. But I'd much rather be at second than 4th. That's a trend. That's upsetting if you're a Blackhawks fan.
Yeah. Do you have another team that's hurting?
Another team that's hurting? Not hurting super bad, but I would point out the Jets and the Hurricanes. Both of them would have been first in the old division setups, and now they're second. Which it's not the worst thing in the world. They'll still advance. They'll still go to the playoffs, but it's just got to sting just a little bit, knowing that they quote unquote should have been first.
They could add a banner that says
yeah.
But now they have to just settle for North Division. That's interesting.
This would be a fun year to get a banner for too.
Yeah. North Division champions and whatnot.
Yeah,
Uh,
the only North Division champions.
mhm.
I mean, I doubt we'll do this setup again. I think next year they'll probably go back to normal. I mean, hard to say, but
Yeah,
I
hindsight and everything. I would like to see them kind of, have their own Canadian division, just because I think it's interesting. But I do miss all the teams playing everybody else, not
yes,
just the same ones.
I will
Um,
admit it's getting a little bit like you're just playing the same teams every time.
yeah,
It's a lot more exciting, when you get those matchups, those rare matchups. Um, like I was telling earlier, me and my buddy, we used to watch Ducks Rangers,
hmm
every year Ducks Rangers, and it was fun time, and you don't get that this year, obviously.
nope. And they would only come out once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, my last pick for teams that are hurting is the Vancouver Canucks,
All right.
and they're not doing well at all. Even if they were in their normal division, they're not doing well. But I felt like this was going to be a year where they really stepped up. They made some big moves. They acquired Nate Schmidt from the Vegas Golden Knights. They got Braden Holtby from the Washington Capitals, who was all right. He was on a bit of a decline, but I just feel like had they been playing the Duck Sharks and Kings, maybe they would have a better record.
They definitely could have a better record. They'd be getting that benefit, that the Avalanche, Blues, and Wild are getting.
Yeah, dude. Oh, but what a season to be in, where it's like, man, I, I just to stop by the like banners and everything again.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be so interesting. Like whoever wins the Canadian division, I know. I believe it's the Winnipeg Jets, who their slogan is "We are the true North."
Yeah.
Whoever wins the North Division, like the Maple Leafs, should be like, "We are the true North champions."
Yeah, and the thing is, they'll probably hold that banner forever.
hmm
Unless we do this again next year. Um, but that's an exciting banner to win. This is a season that I would, if I was playing, I'd be really excited to take that banner home.
Yeah. And come playoff time as well, we're going to see familiarity like we've never seen it before. Because who knows, maybe, and I'm sorry to keep picking on the Maple Leafs, but they're going to face like the Canadians 10 times this season. Come the playoffs, what if the Canadians just kind of like figured them out?
Right.
Be interesting.
Some interesting playoff hockey. Although
Mm-hmm.
we will, pardon me here, but we will get some different teams in the playoffs, right? They're finally doing cross play then.
Only in the
Breaking
conference
out of the
championship.
division. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be, the 1 and 4 seed play each other, the 2 and 3 seed, then those two will play each other, and then whoever comes out of
Okay.
the division. I
So
don't know the
no,
division lineups.
no
Like I don't know
transfer.
who's going to play the North Division. But
Yeah, I wouldn't know either. I would like to point out though, my Ducks solidly consistent. They are last, no matter how you divvy up the divisions. They're still last. That's
one team
consistency we like.
one team that's hurting that I didn't want to talk about is the Stars. Like
Yeah, the poor Stars, and they
the
had
poor
such a good
Stars.
season last year.
Yeah.
They went pretty deep into the playoffs,
Yeah.
um, uh, and
They
I don't
lost
know what
in the Stanley
happened.
Cup.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the way, right? Yeah.
All the way. But
Um,
not far enough.
wow, that felt like forever ago. Jeez. This has been a wild year. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, they used all their energy and skill and talent last year, and poor guys. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you go from almost winning to dead to
Dead
dead
last.
last.
Yep.
Yeah, that's sad.
Well,
Uh,
that's going to wrap it up for us. Do you have any parting words for the fans?
no parting words. Just King of the North. Let's let's get that title.
All right. And if you guys feel like we missed any teams, whether they're benefiting or hurting, just let us know in the comment section down below, and I will be responding to almost everybody. So go ahead, check us out. I got plenty more videos like this coming up. And that's the final score. Thank you and good night.